Yeah, here we go on El Toro.
Welcome to Viral Twist, a wild chase, a stolen SUV, and zero driving skill. This suspect turned the freeway into his own action movie.
But this is a chase that started in Compton. This is a carjacking suspect. Now, the good news is that the guy is alone in the vehicle by himself. But I did hear on the scanner how sheriff's deputies were talking about how the mom and the children were no longer in the vehicle. So that leads us to believe that at some point they were in the car, but thankfully they're okay. But this suspect now has led us here on multiple area freeways, eastbound on the 105, southbound on the 605, and now southbound here on the 405 freeway, where the California Highway Patrol has just taken over the pursuit. We were waiting for them to come to the scene because since this has been on the freeway now for so long, the Sheriff's Department had asked for the California Highway Patrol to take over. They are now behind the vehicle. The sheriff's helicopter still overhead, and we continue here southbound on the 405. Colleen?
Ileana, we've been watching this for a little while. I'm looking at the speeds here. He's actually slowed down. We were clocking him anywhere from 90 to 100 miles an hour.
So we really don't know what the circumstances were at the start of all this, but thankfully they're fine. They're not in the car. That is a complete opposite from a pursuit that we covered a couple weeks ago, which was a very similar circumstances, carjacking suspect with three young children in the car. That ended in a terrible crash. Thankfully, though, today's situation, even though it may have started under somewhat similar circumstances, we know that at this point the suspect is in this vehicle all by himself.
Ileana, can you give us an exact location? We know it's the 405, but I've got to be honest with you, he's going so fast, I'm having trouble even catching the locators at the top of the screen there.
Yeah, Colleen, it's also been difficult because we're so close to John Wayne, so that's why we were kind of maneuvering there just a few minutes ago. But this is, as I said, right next to John Wayne. We're off of the 405 freeway continuing south. So the Irvine area is where we're going to end up here in just a moment at the speeds that he's traveling at. But again, these are slow speeds compared to what we saw earlier, triple digits at one point and driving the wrong way on the freeway. At this point, the CHP really hasn't been able to do any pursuit intervention tactics that we would normally talk about, like spike strips or pit maneuvers, because he's simply going just way too fast, and there really hasn't been any rhyme or reason to his driving.
Sure, given the size of that, that's a Chevy Tahoe, I believe, and the speed, that would definitely rule out a pit maneuver here.
Correct. Yeah, this is a bigger car, and at the speeds that he's traveling at, they simply haven't been able to get him slow enough. And even then, they would need a larger police vehicle, a similar-sized SUV, to be able to do an effective pit maneuver. But I should also mention that right before we got overhead, we did hear that he was involved in a vehicle collision with another car. Now, we haven't gotten any follow-up on that as to if anyone was injured in that collision, but just looking at the car itself, I really haven't seen much in the way of damage to the vehicle itself, so I can only assume that it wasn't a major traffic collision. But that was right off of Garfield near the 105 freeway, and right after that crash occurred is when he jumped on the freeway, and we've been on the freeway ever since.
You know, is there just you're so tight on the car here, is it just one CHP unit?
Yeah, let me widen out, Colleen. We've got that one unit, and that's all we've got. One CHP unit. And I should add that when the Sheriff's Department first asked the CHP to take over, they were somewhat delayed because they didn't have any units available. But this officer was actually at the end of a off-ramp right when the guy went by at 100 miles an hour, so he was able to get behind him. But at this point, he's the only unit behind him, in addition to the sheriff's helicopter overhead.
I have to tell you, I thought that was rather curious. They called for a CHP units, and the sheriff's deputies did, and there were none available. How does that happen on the 405 South?
Yeah, they had said there were none available. Unclear to me if perhaps there's some other traffic accidents on these Orange County freeways that they were tending to, or were simply out of pocket. Maybe they were just a little bit too far at the time to try to get behind this guy. But thankfully, the officer that we see here wasn't too far away. He was able to get behind him, and he's been behind him ever since, kind of keeping a distance, though, not really right on his tail. So trying to give him a little bit of breathing room here. But at this point, that officer waiting for reinforcements on the ground. And again, it's still the LA County airship overhead, but we're deep into Orange County now. We're still in Irvine here, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Orange County Sheriff's Department came in to take over the chase.
That CHP unit may be trying to keep up. This is the slowest we've seen him go, at 70, 69 miles an hour. Is he running into traffic here?
Colleen, in terms of traffic, relatively light, headed southbound here on the 405.
There's
Here's
another unit.
CHP unit, coming in to join the pursuit. And we were just talking about which helicopter would come and take over the chase. It's actually going to be Angel. That's the helicopter out of Anaheim that is going to be coming over the pursuit here now that we're so far into Orange County. Essentially, we're almost to the El Toro Y, which is, of course, where the 405 freeway comes to an end at the 5 freeway near the old El Toro Marine Base. So we are just moments from being there at the interchange. I'm
trying to get my bearings and remember here. Has he passed the toll road, the 73? Have we lost contact?
Hey, Colleen, I missed your question. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I said we know it started in Compton as a carjacking. We don't know all the circumstances surrounding that, but we know there was a woman and children involved here. Although the children are not in the car, there is a single driver in the car.
That is correct, Colleen. And I'm also noticing, look at that front tire on the driver's side front tire. Looks a little low to me.
It certainly does. As we were talking and your audio dropped out here, you know, it almost looked like he was slowing down. Now I look at the speedometer that you see on the screen there, and he is definitely slowing down.
Yes, definitely slowing down. And as far as I know, they didn't set up any spike strips. I didn't see any. I didn't hear it mentioned on the police scanner either. But he could have hit something that punctured that tire. And I am seeing that front driver's side tire deflating significantly here. It's definitely flat. I don't know what the other side looks like. We just saw the tire go by. There we go. Yeah, so looks like we had that tire tread rip off the vehicle. So hopefully that's what's going to bring things here to an end. Hopefully a peaceful end as we continue southbound on the 405 freeway into Laguna Hills.
It's amazing looking that he is able to maintain that kind of control at this speed.
It really is, because he's still pretty much freeway speeds, even though he's essentially lost that tire. The back tires still look good to me. I don't know what the passenger side front tire looks like, but...
And there are no sparks coming out of that.
Yeah.
If he's just on the rim, there are no sparks coming from that front driver's side tire.
Yeah, no sparks yet as we approach El Toro Road. It does look like he's perhaps setting up to exit El Toro Road, and this is going to put him toward the mall area. And El Toro Road, always a very busy street here through the area, lots of businesses and homes as well. And so you see the CHP units there behind him. I could only assume that they're thinking that this guy's going to have to pull over. He's already lost his tire.
Oh, is that a pit? Is that a pit?
Yeah, here we go on El Toro. They just hit that rear bumper, and it looks like he's able to regain control. But they're not giving up. They're going to give it another try here on El Toro.
It looks like he's going in there again.
Yeah, so slowing down here. Turns are always a great place to do these. So let's see if they try it again on Avenida de la Carlota and El Toro. He's up on the sidewalk.